Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K Collector coming at you with a late night video. I've been up doing some work. I decided to pause to play a couple video games, and I know that I've been getting on the PlayStation 4 in a lot of my videos, but there are a few games that make the PlayStation 4 worth having even today. And there are a few genres that I think are particularly great on the PS4. One of them is beat 'em ups, and the other one is shoot 'em ups. And so I'm going to talk about 10 shoot 'em ups plus a bonus shoot 'em up that I think makes the PS4 worth having. And so we're going to start with this one right here, Cotton Fantasy. Now, I did have a copy of Cotton Fantasy on the Nintendo Switch, so I kept my PS4 version sealed. But Cotton is a classic series. I have about 2 or 3 Cotton games on the Sega Saturn, and it's just one of those really cool shoot 'em ups that you like to play. This isn't a shoot 'em up game that I take too seriously. It's more comical and lighthearted than anything else, but this is a cool one, and it's one that I think most fans of the genre will appreciate. So Cotton Fantasy is one. The next up is Darius HD. Now, Darius HD was actually released on the PlayStation 1, G Darius, and I remember having G Darius sealed on my PlayStation 1. That was when I had like close to like 120 to 150 PlayStation 1 games, and I wound up selling that sealed copy of Darius along with a bunch of other games. I regret selling some of the games in my PlayStation 1 collection, but I did get it back here. On the PlayStation 4, it is just a standard Darius game. There are so many Darius shoot 'em ups out there across a number of platforms, especially the Sega systems like the Sega CD. Sorry, not the Sega CD, the Sega Saturn and the Sega Genesis. I think there's also Darius on the Super Nintendo. I could be wrong. But just a really cool shoot 'em up game where you're fighting these mechanical fish is what it looks like. So this is one that I would definitely recommend. I'm a fan of the G Darius series, of the Darius series as a whole. And then you have Dariusburst EX. So this is another one. The cool thing about these Darius games is they're very inexpensive. G Darius you could probably get for about 10 to 15 bucks. Dariusburst you can probably get for 20 or under on the PlayStation 4. And it's just a pretty good chronicle of games here that I think you will like on the PlayStation 4. They do follow this like 2.5D art style, so it's not completely 2D or that pixelated art style that we know and love, but I think it's one that you will still enjoy nonetheless. So Dariusburst EX Plus on the PS4, check it out. Here's one that was floating around GameStops and Best Buys for a while, and of course this is the Rez Crisis HD Collection. This is a collection of 2 amazing shoot 'em ups that also came out on the PlayStation 1. I actually still have those games on my PlayStation 1 just because the artwork that used to come out. So there was a company called Working Designs back in the day, and they used to make a whole host of some of your favorite games, including the Rez Crisis games. They also made the Lunar series on the PlayStation, as well as the Sega CD, games like Vey, just a number of really cool games that you may not even realize were Working Designs games. And so they decided to re-release them here in this HD collection on the PlayStation 4. This is a really cool way to experience these shoot 'em up games. Rez Crisis, in my opinion, plays a little bit more like a traditional 2D shoot 'em up, even though it's not. They're more of like that, like I said, that 2.5D style, especially Rez Storm. My favorite part about these games are the music, though. Some of my favorite music of all time in video games, period, is on this game, Rez Storm and Rez Crisis. So this is a really cool one for you to check out. If you've never heard of these shoot 'em ups, I highly recommend them. Next up, Battle Garegga. The music on this game is a close runner-up to Rez Storm, Rez Crisis. Battle Garegga also has some really great music. And I picked this up because for a while, Battle Garegga on the Sega Saturn was like over 250 bucks. It was such an expensive shoot 'em up on the Sega Saturn, which is where this game originally came out. If you want the most classic arcade experience, then playing it on the Sega Saturn is really going to be the best way. But I think M2 does a good job here on the PlayStation 4, and you'll enjoy this one. This is more of your traditional like 2D top-down shooter shmup, and I think most folks will like this one. Fans of the genre will enjoy this. Battle Garegga, check this one out. This is a good one. It is a limited run game, but I think you will enjoy it. We have another limited run PlayStation 4 shoot 'em up behind this one, and this is Danmaku. Don't know much about this one. I bought this game before I even owned a PlayStation 4. I remember when it was when the pre-orders were going made available on limited run, and I was like, this shoot 'em up just looks so stinking amazing. I'm gonna get a PS4 for this game. And this is probably one of the first and only times that I actually bought a console for a game that I thought was sick. And the craziest part is that I have yet to play it. But really cool looking shoot 'em up. I don't know what I can't remember what the music is like. I know I've seen some video footage, but this is a cool one. Glad to have it in the collection. Yeah, this is a pretty good one. And now the sleep is starting to catch up with me. I think I'm gonna go to bed after this one, or after this video. So then you have Danmaku Unlimited 3. This one is also a limited run release. So this one I had this on the Nintendo Switch actually. And this was one of the games that I sold when I did a huge Switch sell-off. And I actually played a little bit of, not a little bit, I played a good amount of Danmaku Unlimited 3. This is like a bullet hell shooter for sure. Like, this is the purest definition of bullet hell. I think the thing that I liked about this game was like all the bright and neon colors in this one. This one kind of reminds me of Ghostblade in a way. Has that same feel. My only thing with the bullet hell shooters is that at a certain point, I don't know, like at a certain point I just can't tell what's coming at me. Like, I don't know if you play shoot 'em ups, if you experience the same, but that tends to happen with me. So Danmaku Unlimited 3, definitely one worth checking out. I would check this one out. All right, Hyper Centennial. So I picked this one up because this one reminded me a lot of Freedom Finger in terms of the art style. This one is a very like cool looking pixelated shooter. Just very interesting graphics, very interesting gameplay style. And I kind of like this one. It has a few different modes. This one is a strictly limited release. I thought this one was cool looking, so I picked it up. Haven't dove into this one. Here's one that I have played, and I've actually played this in a group, and it's the best way to play this one. I've talked about this game on my channel plenty of times in the past. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. I think you'll get more of a kick out of this one playing it on the Switch, to be honest. I know this is a PS4 video, but to be honest, the Nintendo Switch is probably the better way to play this game, just because more people have the Switch, and it's a great way to experience it. I know there was a time where this game on the Switch was like $400. I don't know what it goes for now, because I think they re-released this game on the Switch, so I don't know if it still goes for that crazy amount. But I remember like back in like 2021, 2022, this game was ridiculously expensive on the Switch. I'm glad they released it on the PS4 because it gives more people an opportunity to get a physical copy and play a really fun shoot 'em up game. It's about teamwork. Like when you play with 4 people, it takes co-op to a whole new level. Like, you and your team have to really be in sync to win the levels, because each person controls a different aspect of the ship. So really, really cool concept. I like this one. And next up, we have a indie title here. Not one that you will have seen at your Best Buy or your Target or your Walmart. This one's a little bit more exclusive. This is an East Asia soft shoot 'em up. Kind of reminds me of Truxton with the whole skull head. Just a more modern looking version of it, but this is a top-down bullet hell shooter. Really cool. Just plays on a lot of the same ideas from many of our 90s. As you can see there, shoot 'em ups. Crisis Wing it's different. It's not one you'll see every day, so this is one that you may want to take a look at. And last but not least, one of the only, or the only VR shoot 'em up in my collection, Rez. So Rez is a different kind of take on a shoot 'em up. It's kind of like a it's like a third person space shooter in a way, where you kind of take on this humanoid form and you're kind of flying through this like cyber world, this cyber ether, trying to make your way through. Very cool concept. And then when you factor in the VR piece, it just takes it to a whole new level. So if you are into space shooters, I definitely recommend giving Rez a try. It's a very, very cool game. But that does it for me. It's the Y2K Collector coming at you with a late night PlayStation 4 shoot 'em up episode. I've shown some of these games on my channel before, but I get new subscribers all the time, and sometimes there's folks who just don't know about some of the really cool shooters that are available on the PlayStation 4. So I always just like to remind folks of what's out there, in case they don't know. But let me know what you think. Let me know if there are any space shooters that I missed that belong in a top 10 or top 20 list. It's the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you enjoyed game 1 of the Wolves-Nuggets matchup. That game was awesome. Ant-Man is going to be special. Alrighty, you guys, go to bed. I'm going to do that now. Take it easy.